Hi everyone, it's Karen here and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for coming back to watch my new video. Today I have a video designed for UmWowStudio where I created a set of ATC cards. I used both the Dreamscapes collection and the Hazy Days collection. However, there's some new collections that had just come out and they're just beautiful, so stay tuned for those in the next few weeks. I created a set of 6 ATCs and they have the theme of film and cameras because I really want to make them a little bit more grungy looking. So sit down, enjoy the process, and just to let you know that all the materials and products are linked below in the description area. For those of you who don't know, an ATC stands for Artist Trading Card. The size of an ATC is 2.5 by 3.5 inches, and as you can see, I'm cutting some of the UmWowStudio paper into that size. I am cutting 6 of them, and one side will be 3.5 and the other one will be 2.5 inches. Artist trading cards, better known as ATCs, are little cards where you make your own artwork on it and then trade them with people, whether it is in the same country or around the world. And each person makes their own artwork and then they trade them with other people. It's really fun to trade with other people, and I've done this a lot where I've traded with people from around the world. So they have a piece of my art and I have a piece of theirs. Most people make them in sets like I did today, so you have a few people to trade with. Once I cut my 6 card backgrounds, I took the Hazy Days stamp from UmWowStudio and started applying it to the background. I took the one that looks more circular. It looks like a huge paint splatter. And in order to get just partial image on my cards, I put 2 cards together and started stamping them with my stamp. Now I took an acrylic block because it's easier to press with it, and as you can see, I get half a circle on one stamp and then half on the other. This is a great technique to do when you want to just get a partial image of something in different areas. So as you can see, now I'm going to add 4 of them together and then get a corner image of the circle and some in one of the cards, and then a little bit of another part of the image on another card. And this is a really great way to just create texture. I continued moving the cards in the areas where I wanted to stamp and just place them beside each other so I would only have to stamp once, and that way I would create partial images on all my cards. ATCs can have any theme you like, and a lot of people trade them in groups where they have a monthly theme and they trade and create an art related to that theme. And then they have monthly swaps where they all trade one of the cards and they make the same one for everyone. So that's a good way to trade ATCs and find groups in your area that want to do this type of trading. Then I took the stapled-like stamp that comes in the same set and added some more texture in the background. Finally, I took the smallest stamp in the set, which gives you some paint splatters, and just stamped around to add even more texture. To create some more texture, I took a stencil from the Crafter's Workshop, which has a film strip on it, and I used some Distress Oxide ink in the Vintage Photo and Wild Honey colors and just dabbed it with my blending tool to create some really nice film strip stencils because it matched perfectly with my theme. I did this to all the cards, and then I heat set them using my Ranger heat tool because I wanted to make sure that it doesn't interact with any other medium. I took my Prima distressing tool and distressed the edges to each one of the cards, and then I took the 2 colors I had used for the film strip and I just edged the edges and inked them with the two colors to create a really nice vintage look. I took some Prima Marketing wood icons, these are the cameras, and I inked them in the same colors I had used for the cards, which is the Wild Honey and the Vintage Photo Distress Oxide ink. I didn't have enough cameras, so I used an hourglass for one of the icons. I don't know if I'll be able to list these in the description area, as I'm not sure if they're still available. These are old and I had them in my stash, but you can use any wood icons for these. Now it was time to assemble the cards. I took a few flares from the Hazy Days collection and a few of the die cut elements from both the Hazy Days and the Dreamscapes collection. I basically took many of them and then I rearranged them on each of the cards. One of the really nice techniques I like using is I like using my tiny attacher from Tim Holtz, and I've done this with a lot of the ATCs that I've created, where I use the staples and the stapler to attach the little die cuts to my cards. And this is a great way to make it look quite vintage and also to make them stick to the page without having to use too much glue. So I just go and I staple them to the background, and because I already had some stamped images that look like staples, this was perfect because it matched the rest of this really rugged look. Once I stapled all the die cuts onto each of the cards, I took the little wood icon camera and my flares and I put one on each of the cards. To give a little bit more texture, I took some black thread and I ripped a bunch of it and used some soft matte gel to glue it to each of the backgrounds. So I would rip this thread and then use some gel to glue it to the background. Then I took the same gel and used it to glue the flare and the camera. I would love to know if any of you like to make ATCs, and if you do, please leave me a comment and tell me what type of ATCs are your favorite to make, and if you've never made them before, I would love to see some of them, so please show them to me, share them with me on social media. I would love to see if you've made them before. Leave me a comment and let me know. One of the things that I like doing is adding sentiments to each of my ATCs. So I took the word stickers from both the Hazy Days and the Dreamscapes collection and picked my favorite sentiments out of them and then stuck them to the background. Finally, I knew that I wanted to add a little bit of some glimmer to the background. So I took my Nouveau Glimmer Paste, this is the gold color, and using a paintbrush, I just basically added it to the background. And let me tell you, this is one of the easiest way to add some glimmer to anything. It really came out amazing. And there was not a lot of effort. So it was just a really, really cool way to add that really nice sparkle to anything. And it goes on so smoothly and dries really, really quickly. Thank you so much for watching. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends on social media. For more inspiration, visit me on my website and subscribe to my newsletter. To see more of my videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can also click the little bell underneath the video, and that will notify you whenever I put up a video. Thank you so much for everything and for coming and supporting me. Bye!